Hi guys, this is E Hargrave. My friends and everybody call me Rachel or Rach. I am here today on behalf of T-Bird's request for us to come out of our little hiding places and put voices and faces to our online presence names. Please excuse the cold that I'm trying to fight off. My voice actually sounds horrible right now. The girls that are in the group on representing Beyond the Valley of the Books blog, where we are trying to not only promote our own stuff, but band together and support the other authors. There's just so many of us in the indie platform. And one way I like to look at it is, if you're building a raft to float down the stream, you're not going to get very far on one stick. If you can take a bunch of sticks and bind them together and lash them tight, you're going to float and you're going to get somewhere. So that's the way I look at it. I am a big believer in supporting the fellow author. I like to give, and if I get back, that's great. But my conscience is clear that I'm doing everything I can around my time frame to help the other authors out there. T-Bird has asked us to step up and do kind of a question and answer thing about current whips or works in progress. While I have several things that are started and waiting for me to get back to them, I'm just closing out my biggest novel yet. It clocked in, at about 115,000 words. It is the final story. Here comes my dog, sorry. It's the final story in my Divine trilogy, which is a BDSM erotica series that I started writing about 4 years ago, initially as a Twilight fanfiction. Yes, I am one of the pulled to publish authors. However, please don't slam me. I'm not one of those authors that only changed names and stuck it back up there. This has been going on for 2.5, 3 years now, that it has taken me to take that original fan fiction and stretch it and expand it into this 3-book series. I have put a lot of time, a lot of heart, tears. My family has questioned my sanity several times. I've gone into in-depth research to bring something out to the market that's, yes, it's got a fun love story to it that builds over the series. You're not going to get your I love yous in the first book. I will tell you guys that right now. Because most romance is not insta-love. It just doesn't work that way. As much as it would be nice if it did in the fantasy world, in the real world it doesn't. It takes time. You got to learn to love each other. You got to learn to trust each other. And in the BDSM world, that element of trust is critical. It is crucial. And so many people miss that. So many people miss the fact that everything in the BDSM lifestyle is consensual when it's, when it's true, when it's real. There is no shortage of the fake people out there, the posers out there. And there's also not any kind of way to pin a specific kink on BDSM, because the lifestyle is just full of all kinds of avenues, all kinds of people. And that's what I've tried to show with this series. You have Catherine and Jaden, who are the main couple, the main focus. But in the sidelines, the side characters off of them, you have people that, I'm trying to show just a little bit of everything, which is why you're going to come across you're going to come across lesbian acts. You're going to come across gay acts. There's sweetness. There's hardcore stuff. There's examples of the fake doms who put themselves out there saying that they are a dom. And I'm hoping my ultimate goal for this series is that people walk away from it not only with a happy feeling at the love story that comes out of it, but understanding and maybe some respect and some leeway for people that are in the lifestyle. Everybody has their own kinks, their own quirks, and as I like to say, to each their own. Just to show you guys what I'm going on about, Book 1, To Serve is Divine. Book 2 is A Divine Life. And Book 3, Surreal, the final one, after all this time, is on pre-order on Amazon right now. It will be going live on December 15th. In fact, as soon as I finish recording this, I am off to the world of formatting to make sure that it gets up there on time. In the vein of these things, and various people that have approached me on Facebook and, through blog interviews and stuff, several people have indicated they've wondered just how involved in it I am. I will not deny that there has been hands-on research. To that effect, just to show you guys some of the things I'm talking about, we have floggers. We have canes. We have crops. We have paddles. These are just some of it. But like I said, this is just kind of the physical side of it. You can't get into the physical side of it unless you've gotten into the mental side of it. And where it comes down to it, the safe, sane, consensual, everybody has to learn to trust each other and talk to each other. Lots of times readers come to me, people come to me, they ask, I'm curious, I'm interested, how do I go about even starting? The best advice I can give you is go to your significant other and talk to them. If you cannot communicate, if you cannot say the words of what you want to experience, then you're not in a position to go down that road. It's kind of the same thing, like with children. Unless you can talk about it, you're not ready to do it. There are plenty of websites, there are plenty of, there's blogs, there's books, there's groups dedicated to it. I was fortunate enough to meet people that actually live in the lifestyle that I now consider very good friends. Ray is one of them. She's actually one of my pre-readers who has followed along behind me from the beginning, and she kind of cross-checks if I've kind of overstepped any bounds that I didn't think about. I was put back in the line and said, no, we need to rephrase this, because the last thing that I want to do is offend anybody with this, despite how crass and vulgar some of the wording is in the books. Hopefully the readers will notice that when it does get more crass and more rude, it's when Catherine and Jaden are actually in a scene. They're in their roles of dominant and submissive at that time. When you step away and you have Jaden and Aaron, which is Catherine's kind of, vanilla side, everything is sweet. There is no name calling. There is no, rough stuff. And it's just being able to differentiate between that is needed, very necessary. And if you can understand that, and if you can open your mind to those thoughts, there's just, so much you can learn, and you can realize that this lifestyle holds a level of just deep beauty to it because of, I keep going back to it, the trust. You don't find vanilla couples as often that are as deeply committed to each other as lifestylers are. You have to be able to talk, you have to be able to communicate and be on the same page. You have to be able to read your partner, because when you get it really into it, coherent thought does go away. You can really, it's called subspace. You can really get going with it, and you might not be in a position to say, okay, we need to stop. And that's where you need to know that you got the trust in your partner to read your body language and be able to go, okay, I'm stopping this now because you've gone too far. You might ask for more when you're in that moment, But if it wasn't previously talked about or agreed upon before you went into that scene, a respectable dom or dame, if you have a female top, isn't going to give in to that. It's just like being under the influence of drugs or alcohol. Getting into that endorphin and adrenaline rush that subspace brings can cloud your judgment. And, again, trust. So that's my little bit on, the BDSM. Surreal does end the main trilogy. If people are wondering, I have kind of started outlining some companion novellas. I have no timeline for when they will be coming out. It's going to be as and when I can get them written. But there are several of the minor characters, side characters from the storyline that people have become enamored with. And me too. They're in my head. They're still talking. And at some point, I'm going to give them their say. The two main ones I've got going right now is everybody seems to really like Micah Sanders, Jaden's right-hand man, his chauffeur, his personal assistant type thing. He's a young guy. He's he's gay with bi tendencies, sort of, but it's men that interest him, and the lifestyle interests him. But he's barely mentioned in the books. He's there, here, and there. And I think it's important to get his story out there to show how it came about. A lot of people have a problem with the first book with To Serve as a Divine, because when Catherine first meets Jaden, she's actually becomes the third submissive that he's working with. What people don't realize, and that's a lot for them to go, oh, he's requiring monogamy out of them, but yet he's able to go, fool around and play with whoever. Micah isn't technically his submissive. Jaden understands Micah's curiosity and tries to answer questions and show him things once in a while. Prior to Catherine coming into his life, Samantha, his secretary, is his female outlet. But even that, it's here and there. At some point, I may explore Samantha's story because, we learn in the third book, and so I'm not going to say exactly what her little facet of the lifestyle is, and, it explains why she never really worked with Jaden and why Jaden was still looking when he found Catherine. Let's see, who else? There's also a couple that you're going to meet in Surreal that I get as much of their story into it as I can, but again, where they go from their part of Surreal doesn't move the Surreal story forward. They need their own. So at some point, Sheila and Dominic will be getting their own book. And Landon and Paige, everybody loves them. They're just the cute, Southern couple that dote on each other and are just always positive and encouraging. And I want to go back and kind of show how they came about. I will be, I'll be playing on the whole, Divine Trilogy thing. Micah's story is going to be Divine Salvation. Sheila and Dominic's will be Divine Intervention. Landon and Paige's will be Divine Beginnings. And I have not come up with a name for Sheila and Dominic's yet. But rest assured, all four of these are in my head. They're brewing. I'm, simmering. And in the next couple of years or so, like I said earlier, as and when I can get to them, I will, and they'll go up. I'm sorry, I'm saying an awful lot and looking around. That's pretty much it. I really hope you guys give it a shot. I've got Surreal on pre-order right now. The price will be going up when it officially releases on December 15th. This week, December 1st through 8th, Book 1 is on sale through Kindle for $1.99. It's regularly $3.49. As you can see, it's not a small book. This is a full-length novel. A Divine Life. Again, It's $3.49 regularly. I'll let you guys in on a little secret if you're watching the video. This one's going to $1.99 next week, starting on the 8th through the 15th, leading up to Surreal. That being said, BDSM erotica isn't the only thing I've done. Actually, my very first published book was Sugar and Spice. Just a quick little fun holiday novella. My, at the time, 9-year-old daughter was one of my pre-readers on it. So, you know, I span the romance genre. This one is close to my heart because it was my very first published book, my very first fully original. There was no previous fan fiction elements to this at all. And the little girl, Candy, in this book is 100% inspired by my daughter. She is smarter than she should be and, you know, has a mouth on her. It keeps things interesting and fun. Going from kind of sweet contemporary, my next novella was Haunted Rain. This one is a paranormal romance, and it kind of goes to the other end of the spectrum. This one focuses on a couple who they've raised their children. 3 of them, they've all left. They're now facing the empty nest syndrome, and they're realizing that they've gotten in the habit of talking to each other and just being able to be with each other around the kids. They have forgotten how to be with just them without the kids. And so this is a story of reconnecting, but with a ghostly twist, because what they decide to do is buy a house down on the beach to flip and sell as a summer project. And it turns out that house is haunted. But there's a reason for it. There's a reason for everything. One of my favorites. I had a lot of fun writing this one. And I hope people give it a shot. It's 99 cents. Yeah, this one's $1.49. Again, you know, I spent a lot of time writing them, but I don't ask very much for them. My latest novella, going back into the erotica side of things, is The Food Critic. This one, again, is just 99 cents on Amazon, and it's not BDSM. It's erotica, but it's not BDSM. This one is a mixture of my love of food. If you follow me on Facebook, you know that I post pictures of meals and stuff all the time. I've been cooking since I was a little kid. And you know, I use recipes as guidelines, basically. But one common theme throughout all of my works, I would have to say, is you're going to find mentions of food, because it's part of life. It's part of my life. I do a lot of things from scratch. Pasta is from scratch. Bread is from scratch. We have a garden. You know, we grow berries and veggies and that kind of stuff. Hubby is working on getting me to start making sausage and things like that. So this one is not meant to be taken seriously. It's meant to be just a quick, fun read. There's silliness in it, and you know, I hope you'll give it a shot and give it, you know, maybe you'll get hungry for going out for some andouille sausage and shrimp and grits. I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. But before I go, I want to, you know, go back to what I said at the beginning about, you know, our raft, our little indie author raft. Some of my favorite authors that are out there. Amber Johnson. This woman, her words are amazing. She covers all kinds of genres and themes, and, you know, you're guaranteed to get lost in her works. This lady, Miss Chris Thompson, with Black Rose, this is her debut book that came out. It is a dark story, but it is beautifully written, and there's a message in this one, excuse me, about the power, the strength in women. And I can't say enough how much you should go give this one a shot. Another good buddy of mine Miss Lorenz Font. She's she broke out into the publishing world with Hunted. The second in her Gates Legacy series is Tormented. Ascension will be coming out in January. And if you like vampires, please, please give these books a shot. They're amazing. But beyond this, she's also stepped into a little bit of light erotica, and she's got some military romance, and she's got some other paranormals in the work. The woman is a machine when it comes to writing. She does not stop. I am in complete awe of the way she's able to not only crank out books, but crank out books with substance. You will love her. Trust me. Again, it's Lorenz Font. Something that Lorenz and I have in common is our editor, who also happens to be an author, Elizabeth Lawrence. She is an amazing woman. And this was her debut novel, The Truth Seekers. It's not everybody's, cup of tea. This one is a period romance, think like Victorian and stuff. It's very, very proper, very formal. Little twist on this one that I loved was that, if you think Jane Austen and whatnot, those kind of books, they're always told from the heroine's point of view. The Truth Seekers comes from your hero's point of view. It's a period romance told in a male point of view. And it's brilliant. I can't say anymore, I cannot stress enough how brilliant this book is. If you can handle a sterner story that's a little more formal in the writing, this one will give you a run for your money, and you will definitely enjoy it. It's brilliant, people. Going on the same vein, another person that Lorenz and Elizabeth and I have in common, M.B. Feeney, or Mitch, as we all, call her. She's from Britain. She's, in the UK area. This was her first self-published project. It's called Honor. It is an anthology of military stories. Little snippets that kind of show you the real side of things. You have the family that, gets the knock on the door with the letter that says they've lost somebody. You have the family that gets to have their son, their brother, their uncle come home. It's a wide collection of just showing you all the different angles, and it reminds you how important our military is and what they do, and what they give up at the cost of freedom for the rest of us. She's got it. I believe it's 99 cents on Amazon. It's a quick read. It's cheaper than a Starbucks, but it will leave you thinking, and it will stay with you. Please, please give this one a shot. And last but not least by a long shot, J.C. Clarke. This lady is my best friend. She's over in the UK, and this was her debut novel. It's the first in a 4-book series that she has planned. It's an epic fantasy, and I mean epic. We're talking novel length. It starts in the Earth realm, and as you get into it, the second book, which I'm in the process of starting to edit for her, takes you to an alternate world. She's creating different worlds. She's creating different versions of the whole Adam and Eve. Very loosely based. This is just, it's so fun. You're gonna love Nathaniel and Tala, Tabitha as she's first called, but once she gets to the other world and learns her real name, it's Tala. A lot of elemental magic, getting into the air, earth, wind, fire type things. But besides writing, she's a graphic designer. She did. This is her cover. This is her cover. All of my covers have been designed by her. She's branching out. She has done covers for Lisa Bilbrey. She's done covers for Jennifer Terrio. She's done covers for Kelly Kazone. She's done covers for Aubrey Lane. She's under Graphics Mama on Facebook, and she is dirt cheap. She's not out to make a buck on it. She's out to help the indie author. And if you're looking for graphics, whether it's, book covers, or you need help with bookmarks, flyers, rack cards, CD stickers, you name it, she can hook you up, and she's not going to break your pocketbook to do it. Okay, I've taken up enough of your guys' time. If you've actually made it this far, I'm sorry for just wandering on and on and on. When I get nervous, I talk. I hope I've enlightened you with some things. I am on Facebook. My website is www.rehargrave.com. Amazon is my main outlet for getting the books. If you're interested in signed copies, you can get those from me for cheaper than you can get them through Amazon. The link for it is on my website. And I love to hear from my readers. I don't shun you guys. If you send me a PM or you hit me up on Facebook, I love to hear from you. I love to hear your stories. Have what the books thought. If you got a recommendation for me or anything, please. I don't bite. Unless you want me to. Thanks. Have a good day. Bye.